Join us Friday night. Whiskey round table, pour a dram or flight. Whiskey round table. Oh, Greg, Karen, and the Whiskey Wizard talking facts and tastings. They've got you covered. Whiskey round table. Oh.
Welcome to the Whiskey Roundtable. We are your hosts,
Big G,
Karen Helen Keller.
Doug Dunbar,
And Dan Ruth.
Dan's back again. Some of you might remember that he's been on the show one other time. It was our Christmas special, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's been a while, but great to have you here. And
Welcome back.
Thank you for
Yeah,
inviting
welcome
me back.
back. So you just came back from some travels out west, right?
Yeah. We had a great trip. Julie and I went out to Breckenridge, Colorado.
Breckenridge, Colorado.
Yeah, so it was phenomenal. We road tripped, so that was exciting with the dog.
There's a lot of flat country before you get to out to Colorado. Isn't
Yes,
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 definitely.
there is. But there's also a lot of places to stop and have a great dram of whiskey and
Nice.
a couple different breweries that we got to visit. So it was a lot of fun. It was a good time.
And thank you for
thank you for the bottle.
bringing.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes, and that's
Why don't you tell us
he brought
about that
a
bottle?
Special.
So this is
let me take
from the
Great,
Breckenridge
thanks, Chief.
Distillery, and so Julie and I went there for dinner one night, and
Oh, just one sec. For this bottle deserves a word.
I like the dog paw on the
Yeah.
little medallion
we
there.
thought that was kind of cool too. That's actually what drew us to the bottle. So this particular bottle is
Easy.
It's an experiment for them. Ah, yes.
Oh dear.
Okay,
A little bottle cam action there. Go ahead.
go ahead.
Beautiful.
Sorry.
No.
Don't mind
Hey,
us.
I wanted us to have fun with it.
Yeah, tell us
There
about
you
this
go.
bottle.
So it's a little bit of an experiment for Breckenridge Distillery. So the story goes, years ago, they were going through the cask house and they found an unlabeled barrel of bourbon. They had no idea when it was started, how what was put into it, and so of course they cracked it and drank it and said, decided it was about the best bourbon they had ever tasted. Well, the problem is they had no recipe, they had nothing to go along.
Jeez.
So what they have done every year since is they've tried to recreate this recipe that they had that day.
Now, do you know if they have any of it left, like that they can compare? And
They
sample?
do. They
Okay,
kept
yeah.
it so that they could continually compare the flavors. So they're getting closer and closer. But what was cool about this bottle is you can't get this anywhere. They don't sell it in stores. You can't order it
Right.
online. The only way you can get it is actually go to the Breckenridge Distillery, which I highly recommend because their dinner is phenomenal.
Nice.
Nice.
I mean, they have like Wagyu beef and everything. I mean, it was the dinner was fantastic.
You're speaking G's language right there.
Yeah, and I mean, so should you ever happen to be strolling through Breckenridge, not only do I recommend going and checking out the other bourbons they have because they have a very nice selection. They also have their own gins and things like that.
Cool.
But yeah, excellent place to go for dinner. And I saw this bottle and I said, this has Whiskey Roundtable written all over it.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. That's
Actually, it's
great.
Breckenridge
Awesome.
Distillery written on it, but I mean, in my mind,
Yeah, right.
Very nice.
Very nice. Thank you
So
so
we're gonna,
much.
we're gonna crack that open next weekend
Yeah.
for the festivities.
So it's our second week of Cigar and Whiskey Pairing Month, and this is our 15th show of 2021. For some reason, I'm liking to keep track of that.
Yeah, I don't know
this
what
year.
that's about, but that's
Well,
okay.
yeah, I don't know.
That's
So for our second,
I was just gonna. I'm sorry to cut you off. I was just gonna ask you. Dan had a nice big story to tell, and how have you been?
it's poor.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I mean, poor.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
it's a story that requires bourbon.
Yeah, there you go.
No, actually, not nothing too exciting. Just working. It's like
working.
most folks. It's been a week of work. Going back into the office a couple days a week now. kind of on honor whenever you want to do it. So
I've been busy.
through the summer, that's what we're doing. So it's okay.
Yeah.
But when I got into the office, my docking station didn't work. So here I was on my laptop, sitting at my desk in the office. When it's home, I have this great setup. I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah, especially as we get older, working from the laptop is not
Yeah.
enjoyable.
And here I was all day, and
I
they're
don't
working
mind it.
off the laptop. And when I could have been at home with my nice dual screen, big setup, microphone, camera. So anyway, yeah,
Roughing it for a
yeah,
while,
just
huh?
roughing it.
All right.
Okay, yeah. So
So yes, you did mention this is the cigar and bourbon month.
yeah,
So-
so this is week 2, and to that point, G, what are you smoking?
I'm smoking a CAO MX2. So this was when it came out was the heaviest Maduro cigar back in its day, which has probably been 15 years or better, and I still enjoy smoking it.
By heavy, just kind of the
full body, man.
full body.
Yeah.
So
And I
lots
think
of
they, I think
lots of
they-
Ligero, probably.
Yeah, absolutely. And then
Using his knowledge. And
yeah, there
Yeah.
you go. So then they came out with the Brasilia CAO, which was
Yeah.
took over the. But this is still a great cigar, man. I love
How
it.
about you, Dan? What do you got?
So I picked up the. I've had these at the house. Rocky Patel Fumas.
Sure.
Ooh.
And I found them one day, and they were just an awesome daily smoke. They're not bold at all. They're pretty medium. I would say medium body. So
So you got a Maduro wrapper on there, so yeah, I'm sure it's a medium body cigar
Yeah.
for sure.
So I mean, it's a great smoke. It lasts about an hour.
Beautiful.
Which is about
That's
what I'm
that's
looking for.
just
Well, how
about
much?
Right for me.
How much was that cigar? Do you remember or no?
So I bought a bundle of them. It ended up
Oh,
being
okay.
like
Never mind.
$2.50 a cigar. It was
wow.
God.
really
Okay,
inexpensive.
that's a great price for that cigar.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah,
a
you
bad
can't
cigar
beat
at
that.
all. That's like a $7 cigar.
Nice.
It is. Seriously. So what's good about the Fumas is, if they don't like the way the cap's put on it, they'll just kick it to the side, and there's like nothing wrong with it, so to say. But it's a good cigar.
Yep.
You can never go wrong with that brand, really. Nice pick, dog.
Yeah,
Real nice.
I've enjoyed it.
Real nice.
I might get one of those if I ever.
You ain't getting
if I
nothing,
decide
shut
to
up.
smoke
Be
cigars
As luck would
someday. You know.
as luck would have it, I brought extras. I'll just throw them on the table and.
Have at it.
We got anything on? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Not a smoker, but as far
well,
as you know.
that's
Anyway, here we go. So,
Wait, can I cut in one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I just
Please
want
do.
to. I'm just kind of taking this upon myself. I'm probably
Sure.
stepping out of turn. I apologize. We're about a 30-minute segment in the Whiskey Wizard, just so you all know.
Yeah, it's kind of our special thing. We're
And it's
focusing on the pairing.
We pre-gamed it, and it's very good. So I just want to get that out there. Okay.
Looking forward to it. So, kind of 3 special episodes. These next 3 weeks, and really featuring kind of the whiskey and cigar pairing exercise that we did, and we've been talking a lot about it, so I won't belabor the point. So,
Gotcha.
but the shows are kind of be a little bit different the next 3 weeks, so a lot of focus on that. So, but before that, I think. Is it time to go ahead and get into the tasting? Anybody else have any other news?
No, what do you
or-
got on the scroll? Anything?
or,
or-
Well, we've
yeah.
got our regular gang out there with
Cool.
Shauna, Steve from Texas, and
Oh yeah,
David.
Steve.
and Jennifer Boggs. Jennifer wants to know what
Yeah.
everyone's drinking. She started out tonight with some Angel's Envy. Nice choice.
Yes.
What are we drinking, Greg? This is a Nashville Barrel. Do I
I'm
have
sorry,
that
yeah,
right?
Nashville Barrel. It's a rye whiskey.
I've never had this
So
before.
this is
It's
something
very
that's new
tasty.
out. It's
That's pretty good. You got
it's been all over the U.S. because it's made
Dan-
made in one place, shipped to the other,
Dan-
bottled
Dan
in
needs to
another
have it.
place. Oh, I'm sorry, Dan. I apologize.
No, you're fine.
And I don't know why that dog is barking, but
Because she wants to be on
She's
camera.
approving. She's agreeing with everything we're saying.
There you go. Take one.
so
pass it down.
yeah.
I'm just
Hopefully everybody
so
good and can hear us this week.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of a video glitch last week, but it wasn't
That's all
too
right.
bad.
just
Yeah. What are you
Going
gonna
to
do?
happen from time to time, I guess.
Hey, brother Steven, how's Taylor doing? How's my niece doing? Is she's out of surgery? Everything's going okay? Just curious.
Yeah, checking in. All right. So as you guys said, we do have quite a packed show with the Whiskey
Yeah.
Wizard
Yeah,
coming
so
up.
let's
So
get
let's
into
jump
this.
right into the bottle cam.
Yeah, it's time for
So
the bottle cam. Let's look at what we're going to be talking about today.
Hey everyone,
go.
it's time for the bottle cam. The bottle cam.
Comes out with left field. Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah, Terry. Hey, I'll be Terry Bradshaw. No problem with that.
Probably has a pretty good bank account too. Right?
Yeah, I'm sure he does. Well, now he's got that reality show too, but who doesn't? Anyway.
Yeah, that's right. We should have our own reality show.
Oh gosh.
We should. Hey, when my mom was alive, that would have been.
Oh my gosh, it would have made the Osbournes look
like a bunch of bitches. They're like, I want a hamburger. Shut up. You know, my mother would be like, she'd be throwing burgers at you.
Hey, we didn't call her Scarface for nothing.
Amen. Donzilla.
All right.
Miss you, Mom. Anyway, good.
Stoke the fire.
Soak the fire down there. How's the humidity?
All right, let me hit it, and I'm just going to jump right into it so we have
Okay.
some time for the
All right,
wizard
let's do it.
later.
All right.
So Pikesville, it's currently made by Heaven Hill. It's down in Louisville, Kentucky, and it is the world's largest independent family-owned bourbon distillery, and it produces 1,300 barrels a day.
Yeah, and I didn't know this was a Heaven Hill product.
I didn't either. I was very shocked when I started looking into this. So,
Yeah.
interesting.
Great.
The distillery was actually founded in 1935 by the Shapira brothers. There's 5 brothers: Mose, George, Gary, David, and Ed, and they were department store retailers at the time. And the guy starting the distillery hit them up for money, capital, to start up the distillery. So at the time, 1935, $17,500 is what they contributed to start it up. And in order to get the bourbon,
1935.
1935, so right after Prohibition.
Okay.
What are you thinking?
No, I have a note that says the Pikesville brand dates back to 1895. So
Well, I'll get there.
okay.
Oh.
Sorry, didn't mean
But
to.
wait,
Didn't mean to get ahead of
Wait.
you.
You're questioning the master of history?
I'll just be quiet.
Oh, yeah. Why don't you
I'll just be quiet.
Shh. Yeah.
All right, Wizard, you leave the wizard stuff
Yeah,
to you. And
I know.
just kidding.
I got to stay in my lane.
That's right. Anyway,
Oh, shoot. Good.
so this is Heaven Hill we're talking about. So the distiller's name comes from the owner of the land where they built the distillery. It was William Heaven Hill. I'm trying to talk fast because I'm trying to get to the Whiskey Wizard and I'm tripping over my tongue. So his name, Heaven Hill, one word. But when they went to get the paperwork to turn it in to name the distillery Heaven Hill, it came out in 2 distinct words, Heaven and Hill. They were told it would be $10 to fix the typo, and they were like, too steep, not doing it. We're going to keep it 2 separate words, and it's going to stay Heaven Hill. So
Okay.
I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting.
So, 1935, they started the distillery. You've got to wait for the whiskey to distill and get it going. So while it was aging, the Shapira brothers, who had to buy out their partners who actually started the distillery because they couldn't wait. 1935, not a lot going on, so they bought out their partners for $20,000. So for $37,500, they got the whole distillery.
Wow.
But since they were retailers, they really didn't know what they were doing. So they turned over to the Jim Beam bourbon family and said, we need some help. Can you help oversee it? Because, we're at the department store. We don't know really what we're doing here. So the bourbon family came in, and then in 1946, Earl Beam signed on to be the master distiller. And he held that position for 29 years. He ended up retiring in 1975, and that's when his son, Parker, took over Heaven Hill as the master distiller. And he eventually created Elijah Craig, Evan Williams, Henry McKenna. Lots of good brands that
Yeah,
we enjoy.
there's another family connection, right? We talked about that, and hopefully do a future episode on that.
Yeah.
About all the
How they're all interconnected.
Yeah, the family connections and all the whole American whiskey industry, at least bourbon particularly.
So I don't know if you all recall, but back in November of 1996, Heaven Hill had some destruction. They were hit by lightning, and it destroyed the distillery and 7 rick houses. So actually, I've got some pictures here that were taken of that fire. So here you'll see the full grounds, all the rick houses there, and some are burning, which brings a little tear to our eyes, I'm sure.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Can you imagine just...
And then here is a close-up picture of the fire. That hurts.
Man, and you could see the barrels in those if you really look. Yeah,
that just hurts.
Crazy.
How does one lightning strike set like it looks like 3 or 4 different rick houses on fire?
It was actually 7 rick houses
Wow.
were destroyed. The total loss was 92,000 barrels for an estimated value of $30 million.
Better have some good insurance, man.
Amen.
But the interesting part of that is what was destroyed was only 15% of their storage capacity. So they still had a lot left. So the day after the fire, about 100 employees got together. They met in the cafeteria, and they said, the company cafeteria, and they said, what are we going to do? And they're like, get back on that horse, man. Let's go.
Amen.
We got some whiskey to make.
We
That's
got
what
some
they
whiskey
say.
to make. So
Good plan.
they all pulled together. Next day, they opened up the bottling facility, and whiskey started shipping out to the customers. So they did not waste any time. What's interesting is they said the competitiveness from different businesses, the whiskey bourbon community,
All
the
getting
different distillers really came together
Sure.
and helped them. And
Yeah.
whatever you need to get back on your feet, they were there to support them. So
Again, that's another thing about that community, and maybe it's because of all those family ties, but there is a lot of teamwork, even amongst competitors.
Sure.
Look, they know that they each do something different. They're not really, they don't really compete.
they have an appreciation
yeah,
for what they all
they
do.
appreciate what each other
respectful
does.
of each other.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
very,
Absolutely.
very
We all
good.
grew together.
It's a very, very, it's a very good thing.
You'd be surprised. I don't know if we talked about this in the past. I'm sorry. I know I feel like I'm not paying attention, but I am. But those guys they'll trade out different things for blends and all kinds of stuff. I mean, those guys do business together.
Yeah.
So
They
it's a
are
great
kind
thing,
of
man.
in
It is a
together.
great thing for us. Thank God, they're
Yeah.
learning from each other, which we get to benefit from it.
I think it's cool too. I mean, you hear stories like that, and there was a story with Buffalo Trace too about years ago. They had a bottle that they distributed called, I think it was called the Barnstormer or something like that, and it was created because a tornado had ripped the roof off of one of the rick houses, which disturbed obviously the atmosphere.
Oh gosh,
So it changed the mix, and but rather than saying we got to throw it all out, they just bottled it up. I think they called it the Barnstormer and sold it. So they're really resilient in that industry. It's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
great.
that's
That's great.
great.
It's a great story.
Yeah.
One last thing about the fire. So the entire supply of yeast for Heaven Hill was stored in the distillery, which was destroyed. So this was a recipe that had been handed down through generations
Yeah,
and
we've talked
generations
about that.
and
Yeast
generations.
is really the core of, if you want to talk about the most proprietary secret thing that each distillery has, it's their yeast, right?
That's the special. That's the
Yeah.
special stuff.
Yeah.
So even though that distillery was badly burned, that yeast was held in a 5th floor yeast refrigerator. And when they found that refrigerator and opened the door, it was still cold. So they were able to quickly save that yeast.
Okay.
Now they have it stored. They've learned from the fire to store their yeast in different places now.
right.
So if anything ever happens again, God forbid, that they're still
I
got their
think we've
yeast.
talked about this, how the Russells, all the principals, they all have a little bit of yeast in their home refrigerators.
Correct.
Yeah.
To,
Yes, we did.
For that very point. So no no one tragedy, even multiple tragedies, can rob them of that special thing. So.
Awesome.
So that's the story of Heaven Hill. So now let's move into what we're tasting tonight, which is the Pikesville Rye. Here's where your 1890s comes in.
Yeah.
So
okay.
it was Pikesville Rye was first produced in Maryland in the 1890s. And I didn't realize that there was a big booming Maryland rye whiskey industry.
Well, remember when we did, coming up on a year, we did the whole episode on the Whiskey Rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
And there were two main places where rye whiskey was being made in what were the kind of the frontier areas. That was Western Pennsylvania and Maryland. So.
Right.
Yeah, so I did not, I don't
So-
know what I had for dinner last night, so thank you for...
Probably even by 1895, it had already been a well-established thing in those areas. So yeah.
Yeah, so what they're saying is Maryland was a whiskey distilling powerhouse, and it was only surpassed by Kentucky and PA, and they produced 5.6 million gallons in 1911. And most of that was rye. So after Prohibition, this is now the last standing Maryland rye. The rest of the industry has stopped development and production. And this is now produced in Kentucky from extra aged barrels, stored in prime
nice.
warehouse locations at the Heaven Hill distillery. So it keeps that Maryland rye distillery going.
A little bit of that DNA in there. Huh?
Yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah, I wonder what extra aged barrels means.
I don't know. I didn't look into that.
Okay,
but yeah.
well, it's all right.
So,
Well,
but
let's
this-
save that for
Old
next
bar-
time.
Old barrels.
This is 110 proof. It's
Okay.
a 6-year.
So it's a man's whiskey, or a, I shouldn't say it that way, but it's...
It'll put
let's
hair
say-
on your chest?
Let's
Is that what
say,
you're saying?
yeah, whether you're a man or a woman, it'll put hair on your chest.
Honey, it's your lucky day. No, I'm just kidding. So 2019, Pikesville was a double gold winner at the San Francisco World Spirits Competition, and it was also a double gold winner at the Wine and Spirit Wholesalers of America Spirits Tasting Competition.
I think that little tag on the bottle says something about being
it does.
thought to be the second best whiskey in the world. I don't know what the first one is, but
I don't
I don't know. I
Anyway.
think the last one was 2 years ago.
Was it
Was a
McKenna?
rye
Yeah.
was McKenna.
yeah.
That's right, which is also a Heaven Hill product.
Right. Correct.
So
All right, so that's what I got, guys.
they know what they're doing when it comes to rye.
Yeah, they do with the
And
little
that,
help
I
from
think
the
that
Bean
was.
family.
I think that was the world. McKenna was the world as well, if I remember correctly. So,
Yeah.
Could have been.
back in June
According to the Whiskey Advocate,
2019.
one of the aromas of the year after that nose, the delivery just had to be majestic, and it is. Those wonderful, bustling, fizzing spices, the best from Heaven Hill in some time. So that's according to the Whiskey Advocate. So on that note,
Pass it up.
Let's pass
Dan,
that
you want to grab
Tyler.
the 2 glasses over there for you and Doug?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
sir.
all right, thank you.
Right away, I'm noticing a very dark
Dark
amber
color.
color.
It's a heavy
Gorgeous.
char. It is definitely a heavy char. Oh man!
Can you wait till break
Can you,
to go to the
can you
bathroom?
wash your hands when you're done? Really? We're doing a radio
Sorry,
show
I-
here, dude. What the hell's
I
wrong with
didn't
you?
want to have to get up.
All right. Holy cow! Excuse Doug. He's you know how the wizard is.
Still trying to train him. It's like getting a new puppy every time.
Shit, Negro. Let's do this.
All right, let's go in.
Oh,
Let's see
my
what we get on the nose, guys.
Very, I would call the color a nice copper.
Leather on the nose, very strong leather for me.
Yeah, I get that. And of course, it's definitely got the rye kind of baking spices, right?
I want to say definitely baking spices.
But I
for
also
sure.
get with it is like some cocoa. You know, when
Yeah,
you just take
yeah,
the baking
yeah,
cocoa,
yeah.
not like the
Yeah.
powdered cocoa, and you.
I agree with that. It's a little spicy. It's got a little ethanol in it. It's a little peppery, so to
Some-
say, on
there's
the
some
nose.
heat on the nose,
yeah,
definitely.
Just a
Yeah,
slight heat. Yeah, I agree.
110 proof. Yeah, and expect
It smells great.
some. Yeah, that's kind of a joy. Ooh. trying to not desensitize myself too much.
To me, it's a very
brown
unique.
sugar, maybe.
Or like vanilla cream. It's
It's the baking cocoa. You know,
Yeah.
like, it's not the Hershey's chocolate, but it's that candy
Yeah.
bar when you're a kid and you go through your parents' ingredients and you take the chocolate.
It's
You
the
think
bitter
it's the good chocolate,
Oh, the bitter, yeah,
and it's the
yeah,
bitter
yeah,
chocolate.
baking chocolate.
Yeah, definitely.
I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
Didn't we all?
Right. My mother
Because you
cooked.
never take a nibble.
My mother cooked. And
No one's
cooked,
looking.
And I
This
would
isn't how it's supposed
I
to
always
taste.
want to be her taster and all this stuff. And man, I saw that chocolate. I reached over and I grabbed a piece of it. And she slapped my hand. And I looked at her. She said, "Go ahead. Do you want to try? Go right ahead."
Have at it.
And the expression on my face was to tell all of tell-alls.
Yeah.
That's
And
what
I went to spit it out. She goes, "Oh no, you're swallowing that."
Your mom?
My mother.
That's how we do things in the Battaglia family.
Oh, yeah.
We learn from our
But you
lessons.
know what? I actually grew to like bitter chocolate. Believe it or not.
Well, yeah, I kind of. I like the dark stuff, which is
Dark chocolate's good
much,
for you.
much more good.
A real deal dark chocolate, a good dark chocolate, expensive dark chocolate is actually good for you.
And antioxidants, and it's very great with a whole array of whiskeys.
Amen.
That is true.
And
Yeah.
wines.
Yeah, I mean,
And wines.
it goes so. You take a nice spirited Isla single malt Scotch and some dark chocolate. Just Anyway, back to
Back to the
Pikesville.
show.
So, are you guys getting that too? The baking chocolate? Or?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
I get a
said
little
that
milk
right
on it.
off the bat.
I think I get a little. I don't know.
It's really
I don't say brown sugar, but
maybe you get a
Maybe
little
that's the
bit
baking
of orange
spices in it.
zest in there too.
I don't get
It's
the
just
orange zest.
really, really nice.
It's very nice.
That's
We ready?
just
Give us a nose, girl. Give us a nose.
Give a you
Give a
the nose. So according to Heaven Hill's website, the nose is a dusty cocoa notes with oaky smoke underneath.
No smoke at all.
I'm not getting smoke. I don't.
I don't get this. I don't get the smoke. So
Dan, you
because
get the smoke or no?
Maybe.
No, I got more of a burn. I mean, it's.
Yeah, I get that
Yeah.
ethanol. It's a little ethanol-y, just a little bit.
Yeah.
If you keep smelling it, you'll start sneezing. That's what I just did before.
Yeah.
But
so one of the other websites I checked out, the nose, some dusty spice, a touch of Norwegian hand cream. That's very unique.
It's very specific.
well, that,
little,
it's a lot better
I
than
don't know
diesel
that
fuel.
a lot of our viewers.
They're coming in Norwegian. I'm
Not if you
gonna
don't.
buy some of that
If
stuff.
any of our viewers know what that is, let us know.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you what Norwegian hand.
So I have a picture in my head. I have no idea. Like goat milk cream, like thick goat milk. I don't.
I just got a picture of Jennifer Aniston using like some new Aveeno and
Getting ready.
Yeah.
It also
Get ready to watch the movies.
Infomercial. Yeah.
it also mentions cocoa at first with sweet licorice,
No licorice at all.
licorice.
vanilla custard,
no.
and cream caramel.
I said vanilla cream.
Well, okay, you did say vanilla cream. Maybe that's the I said
But
brown
no
sugar.
orange.
Maybe that's the brown
No
sugar. I'm
orange.
getting.
At least not on the two that I
Okay.
checked.
All right.
All right.
Let's dive into this.
All
kids.
right.
Go.
Time to palate this.
Can't wait.
Not as much heat as I was expecting.
No, it's really sweet.
Now I get some orange.
Yes. Rye spice. Got some orange. Definitely some orange. Some honey.
I get honey, but no orange.
Fresh clove.
Maybe orange peel, but not like orange. Man, it's a long finish.
It
I'm
is
gonna give that a break for a minute. I gotta take a second flavor here. Rich is watching the show. Karen's neighbor.
Hey, Rich.
Rich, what's up, dog?
Right.
I think I'll see you
Rich.
tomorrow. I believe.
I'm gonna cleanse my palate and go back in again. See what I
I
got.
am definitely. I have to try it like 2 or 3 times sometimes. Oh my god, I'm gonna shoot that dog.
You're definitely right. It has a very long finish to it. Like it continues
Yeah.
to. And with the Norwegian hand cream, I believe my tongue is getting some moisturizing too.
I'm getting a good smell of anal-ease, maybe?
Anal ease?
Watch it, buddy.
Anise?
Oh, is that what it is?
Oh, for the love of...
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
my gosh.
What do you expect? This is the Whiskey Roundtable.
I'm getting a lot of that right now, but
Ooh, boy.
oh my goodness.
That would be the licorice.
I don't get that.
I probably described it wrong. I apologize, but you get the picture.
I don't get that. I don't get the anise. I didn't get it on the nose or the.
I was only kidding.
I know you.
I know you
I
are.
know. And thank you for that.
I'm just trying to
Thank
wake
you for
everybody
that.
up
Give
in
us
the
a
audience.
chance.
Make
That's
sure
all
you're
I'm
still
trying to-
watching.
That's right. Make sure you ain't sleeping over
It's
there.
very rich. The spices are just very complex. Clove and orange and.
You know what?
I
I
still
could see the clove. I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe mixed with the baking spices. I think I could probably see the clove in there. I mean, I'm not getting the clove, but with the baking spice, the baking spices are very upfront.
I know it might
They're very
be the
upfront.
ethanol too, but you know how cloves kind of has
Sure,
that
sure.
anesthetic quality. You
Absolutely.
almost get that from the whiskey.
I mean, I don't actually, because the baking spice is so upfront, I could probably say, yeah, okay, clove, but I don't get that. I get all that flavor, so to say. It's spicy. It's definitely baking spice forward for sure, man. It really is.
I really
Okay.
get that citrusy. What's the liqueur I'm thinking? Grand Marnier.
yeah.
It's very strong.
It has but it's orange face.
Yeah,
It's that,
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good. It's a good.
It's nice.
observation.
Yeah, it is.
It's
For
great.
110 proof, it doesn't drink like 110.
I was just going to say the same thing.
96 maybe.
It's so
maybe
easy.
even 100.
It's easy on the
but not
palate,
110.
and it's surprisingly soft and subtle and complex. I really enjoy that.
It's
I really
yeah.
enjoy that.
It is enjoyable. Notes I have: palate, dry and spicy with honeyed rye and cloves.
Okay.
You
I
guys
said I get more of the
get
honey
that?
than I do the baking spice, but
The other website that I checked out, it says fruity and then wonderfully spicy rye, sweet licorice again. So that might be your anise
okay.
Yeah.
Or your analies.
or your anise.
Something like that. Okay.
Now they actually on this website they're calling out those candies. They were nougaty pink with the licorice in the black in the middle.
Yeah,
Licorice, all sorts.
All
There
sorts.
you
Oh
go.
my
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I remember those.
That's what they called out.
Yeah, I mean, I know what those are, but I don't get that in the whiskey.
Me
but-
neither.
No?
But, my grandma used to always have those in a little dish when we visit. That's
And
how
you
I
go
got
over and pick them
exposed
up,
to
and the whole dish comes to you
Yeah.
like this.
They had like
They
they had some that were pink and round with licorice.
Been
in
there
the
for
center.
6
Yep.
years.
There's some that were like little sandwiches. You guys
Oh
know.
my goodness.
My favorite were the ones with little dots on them, like the little.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
gosh.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway.
Is that the same as ribbon candy?
Yeah.
Oh, I love her McKinney. Look at us going way back with the baking chocolate and
Oh,
the
yeah.
grandma's
Well,
candy.
I will be
Grandma's panties. Oh, my
enjoying
God,
some
those are
more
so-
of this throughout the show and this evening, I think.
Yeah, this is great.
All right,
So-
so let's
So, why
go
don't we
ahead.
do one more bottle cam before we get into the ratings?
All right,
One
let's do
more
it.
bottle cam coming up. Here we go.
Hey everyone, it's time for the bottle cam. The bottle cam.
It's coming. Got a good shot of the nutcracker.
Easy. No, we're not. We're still alive.
But this is loud. You got a good shot of all of the goodies that we have here in the
Oh my God.
Whiskey Roundtable studio. These two are a mess. I don't know what you guys can hear when we go to bottle cam, but because I don't mute us. But these guys they're in their own little world over
Obviously, we didn't know she doesn't mute us. But
Me and Doug go back and forth. Go back and forth. He'll say stuff, and I'll catch it, but I will just ignore him. And he'll look at Karen like, "Is he?"
here. I don't look. I just stay right
It's
here.
so funny. He'll make some comments,
Yeah.
and Doug like trying to rile me up. Here's me. And they'll look right. See him out of the corner of my eye. Look
I
at
know.
Karen like, it is so funny. Anyway, I'm sorry. Let's get back to it, kids.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, so I think we'll let our guests go last. So why don't we start with you, Big G, and we'll come
right.
this way. What do you think you give this Pikesville straight rye, 110 proof,
I'm going to give it a solid 3.5.
3.5? Okay. I thought we'd get more out of you on that, but I figure this would be in your wheelhouse. But not that that's not a bad score on the Whiskey Roundtable. That's still a pretty good one.
Yeah, I find myself having a really hard time because I must be enjoying all of this whiskey way too much here on the Whiskey Roundtable because lately I feel like I want to score everything high. Although we did have that Canadian thing that
Well,
showed me.
I like that Canadian.
Yeah.
Is it Solovino?
I don't. Maybe.
It should be.
I might have washed the dog with it.
Oh.
you know, the Canadian,
Oh.
I might agree with you on that one, G, except we'd both be wrong.
Oh.
So I think I'm going to go with the 3.75 on this
3.7,
one.
good score. Good
I really
score.
like this. It's complex. It's unique. It's totally different from anything I've had before. I really like it.
Yeah, so I got to say, look, I really love this. Is it a 4, which means I have to have it at all times? Again, kind of like last week, I'm on the fence there. This is really good. I guess I can't say fantastic, but it's a really good whiskey, and I'm going to give it a 3, just a little bit shy. I'm going up to 3.8 on this one because I do like it very much. But it's just a little, not quite enough to be in my 4 range where I'm so in love with it. I got to have it in my bar at all times. But this is fantastic. If you're looking for a really good rye with a lot of spirit and a lot of complexity, this is a good one.
Believe it or not, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I know we got short time
Yeah.
here. That's the second bottle I've ever had at Pikesville. It took I've been collecting for 5-6 years, but people like it, but they're not always. But it's a good product. It really is.
And not to prolong, but is this hard to find?
It is hard to find.
It is not easy to get.
It is not easy to get. So I was lucky to get that bottle. I had another bottle that was my second. I said this is my second open bottle. So I got a gift of this years ago, and I packed it. So I ordered that online, and they had it, and I got it. And it was a great price. And
Do you remember how much it was?
I want to say it was like $50-some.
Okay.
I do have a bottle at home that I did buy on my travels through bourbon country, and I'm glad I have it now because I really like this. So
Good.
yeah. Fine.
Right.
So
So
I guess
I was going to say, Dan, what are your
So
I was going to say I tend to agree with Karen. When it comes to any of these, I just want to give everyone high marks because
Sure.
I just happen to like bourbon. But with this one, I think my scoring is going to go more along the lines with Big G. To me, for my personal taste and what I like to drink, this is going to be in the 3.5 realm.
okay.
And the reason I did 3.5, it's not a bad product. It's a great product. In my opinion, it was very limited on nose, very limited on taste, very limited on finish. That's why I did the 3.5.
And that ethanol in the beginning on the nose, that's
Sure.
Those are typically the bourbons that I kind of start to steer away from a little bit because then they affect the taste and everything going down. So I have a hard time getting past the ones that are very
Correct.
very harsh on the nose.
Well-
now, if you brought this to my house, I'm still inviting you to the next party. It's fine. It's a good bourbon.
I think if people could bring a 3.5 whiskey to my party,
And-
I'll be very
I know
it's good.
It's a great product, and it won the big winner. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, I think we've tried so much stuff throughout the years, and there's a whole bouquet of flowers that goes on. This only had a daisy, maybe a rose, and some baby's breath. Other than that, that was it.
And it did, but you know what? It wasn't disappointing.
It was not.
That-
I said
that-
it was a great product.
Yeah,
It was a great
that's why
product.
it's-
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I found the nose very inviting. It really pulled me and made me want to dive in. So I felt there was a fair amount of complexity there. You just have to be subtle. You don't want to blow out your olfactory senses with
Your O-ring.
Oh, you want to blow out your O-ring, kid?
blow out your O-ring with
Don't
that
make a
first
mess, you know what I'm saying?
because it is 110 proof. So, but I think for a 110 proof whiskey, it doesn't drink like
It
that. I
does
think
not
it's-
drink like that one time.
It's
Absolutely.
got some delicate notes to it, and anyway,
All right.
we did
Just
our
like
scoring.
Big G, you're
so
like a delicate flower.
Yeah.
Look at delicate flower. You
Yeah.
smell expensive.
Something got delicate like G.
All right. So
I know we've got a long
We
whiskey
gotta
wizard.
get
I
out.
do
We
want to
gotta get out.
acknowledge some of our watchers out there because we've got
Yes.
some
Let's do that before we go.
new
in.
fans joining. We've got Justin Elliott out there.
Justin, what's up, dog?
We got Lindsay. Lindsay's out
Lindsay.
there.
Lindsay does all of her music.
No, that's Kayla.
Oh, Kayla. I always get them mixed up. They look so much alike. I'm like, what?
So, yes.
And Shauna's saying, what happens if you dash a little splash
Well, I
of
was
water?
going to suggest that, Shauna. Good call.
We'll do that during the Whiskey Wizard.
During the Wizard, I think we're gonna all try a little spot of water in some of this and see what that does. Because with a high proof whiskey, that's a great suggestion.
Yes, it is.
Always a good thing to do.
What else we got on the scroll?
I was just running down
I know, let's see
quickly.
if Steve has
Jennifer
any-
Boggs, Norwegian hand cream.
Shit,
woo.
girl.
Shauna says, Dan, you're so smart. Let's see. Jennifer has moved on to some Broken Barrel Isle of Peat.
Never heard of it.
Well, I think Shauna just meant in comparison.
What's my brother Steve got?
I'm interested in
Hold
Steve
on.
Barrel Island.
Steven's just
scroll up.
laughing.
Yeah.
He's
Roll up.
laughing.
What's up?
What?
Anything
She's
else?
doing. Taylor's doing well.
Okay, good. That's what I want to see. Okay,
Okay.
beautiful.
All right.
Jennifer
that's-
Bach says Greg just wanted to say anus, but no nut skins.
Oh, girlfriend.
The night is young.
Got a 5-gallon
Good
pail.
observation, Jen. Good observation.
All right, we ready to roll?
All right.
For the
Think
whiskey
we're
wizard?
ready.
So we're diving into the cigar and whiskey pairing, and we just have a lot of fun. And well, let's roll.
Let's roll. Let's get to it.
All right, kids. We'll see you in a
See you in a
half
bit.
hour.
Whiskey Wizard. It's the Whiskey Wizard.
Hello and welcome to the Whiskey Wizard, where we say that whiskey making takes scientific knowledge and artisan skill and dedication, and a bit of the wizard's alchemy of light, air, earth, and fire. Tonight we're beginning a 3-part segment about pairing whiskey and cigars. When you talk about pairings with whiskey, whether it's food or cigars, there is obviously subjectivity. But there are some general guidelines, and hopefully you'll enjoy learning about this topic as much as we all did in putting these episodes together. Okay, here's what we did. One of my good friends, Dan Ruth, had asked me if I was ever going to do a wizard episode on pairing cigars with whiskey. He said if I did, he'd love to participate. You may remember Dan as a guest on our 2020 Christmas holiday special. So I decided to do a 3-part segment on this. First, I invited Dan and Big G to come meet me separately at Royal Havana Cigars in Willoughby. I brought 3 whiskeys, a single malt scotch, a rye, and a bourbon. I asked Dan and Big G to sample each whiskey to provide some tasting impressions, and then to go to the humidor to select a perfect cigar to pair with that whiskey. Of course, I asked them to please explain their selections. So that's part 1. Part 2, which we'll get to next time, involves each one sampling their pairings at home and then telling us how well they think they did. And finally, in part 3, our producer Zach will act as a final judge to test each of the pairings along with their specified whiskey and to give us his impressions and his assessment of which pick he preferred. Of course, there's no true correct pairing answer, but hopefully this proves to be as informative for you all as it was fun for us. Okay, hey, now you know the deal, so let's not delay it all. Here we go. Enjoy.
All right, well, hey Doug, thanks for inviting me to this segment of the Whiskey Wizard. I'm really excited about tonight. We're going to do a little bit of whiskey cigar pairing, which is right up my alley. You seem to have set me up with a really good first try here. Glenmorangie, I believe, was the first whiskey you ever, or the first Scotch you ever introduced me to.
Yes, and this is the Sauterne finish.
Beautiful.
So it should be an interesting one for cigar pairing. So I'm curious to see how it goes.
Right off the bat, it's got some really nice floral notes in it. There's some citrus, but you can really feel that, kind of smell that Sauterne wine coming through, that sweet smell.
Yeah, it's got some nice light fruit in there, but it's certainly not, the odor isn't sweet by any means. So what are you getting on the palate there?
Yeah, as the palate comes through, you know, this feels almost like there's a little bit of vanilla, and a cream flavor, perhaps.
Vanilla makes sense because, again, first fill bourbon cask. Again, I'm getting some oak for sure.
Yeah.
And probably from both of those casks. I find that wine casks give a lot of oak as well.
Yeah, definitely some oak. I do pick up on that vanilla, and I do get a little bit of kind of a sweet finish on it as it goes through. Excellent pairing.
All right, so think you're ready to go pick a cigar? You got enough to go on?
Yeah, I think we can go
Okay,
pick a cigar.
why don't you give it one more good tasting, and then we'll be on our way.
All right, well, seeing as that Glenmorangie has such a nice flavor, and we do have that oak, that vanilla, and again, I'm picking up that that sort of dessert wine, probably from that Sauterne cask. What I'm thinking here is I'm looking for something a little bit earthy to kind of balance that out. And so when I think earthy, I go for what's my go-to is an Ashton VSG. Okay, this is going to have a very earthy flavor to it. But the flavor profile is going to change as you go through the smoke, which I'll get into more as I'm doing the smoking section.
Okay, well now we're moving on to the Rossville Union Straight Rye. So that means we probably it's going to be 100 proof, 4-year-old at least. So, well, let's give this one a try and see what kind of cigar we think this one's going to pair well with.
Doug, as you know, rye is one of my go-tos. I really enjoy the spiciness of a nice rye. So let's give this one a shot. Yeah, right off the bat, on the nose, it's got a very warm, it's got that cinnamon kind of smells coming through, very herbal. Or spicy, I should say, not herbal.
Yeah, cinnamon baking spices are pretty standard rye profile. So that's what I hadn't had this, but I expected that would be what we get here. So
yeah, definitely. You can that cinnamon comes forward very quickly. It has that very familiar leather flavor that I just really enjoy, which is one of the reasons I like the rye, especially when it comes to mixing up a good drink. I think we're ready to go.
Okay.
Well, let's go ahead and let's go to the humidor and see what we can find for this bad boy.
So I think what we're going to do, due to the spiciness of the rye, we want something that's a little bit more toasty, a little bit more nutty. So I'm going to go with the Ashton Classic line, which we're going to go ahead and select the Magnum.
So another Ashton, huh?
Another Ashton, yeah, we're going to stay with them. And, you know, this is a little bit lower in the price range, you know, than the VSG, but I think it's going to pair really, really well with that rye.
You guys are on the Whiskey Roundtable.
Yeah.
Uncle Nearest 1884 small batch bourbon whiskey.
Doug, always bringing the great stuff.
I thought this would be a good one for our test. I'm anxious to try it myself, so I'll be sampling this along with you. Here we go.
Brand new one for me. Let's give it a shot. A little bit of honey blossom in there. And some almond.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
almost like an amaretto, maybe. Ooh. Interestingly, you know what I get? Believe it or not, and I'm not making this up, I'm getting a little bit of cigar tobacco. I would call it like a tobacco aroma.
Yeah. Well, and that's, I think, the great thing about bourbons.
Definitely. Definitely.
They really lend themselves to the cigar smoking environment because of their flavor profile and everything they can do. I think we're ready to go. Yeah.
So with the bourbon, you know, there's really so many directions you could go because the flavor profile lends itself to a multitude of different cigars, in my opinion. So for this, I think, honestly, while any of these would be great selections here, I'm going to go to one of my sort of go-to cigars, and that's going to be the Arturo Fuente Signature Especial. And I think it's really going to pick up the flavors of that bourbon very, very well because it's a medium body smoke in my personal opinion. It's not very heavy, but I think it's going to pick up, you know, that honey, those almonds, especially all the way through. And it's always a very consistent smoke in my opinion.
Right.
Okay, Dan, great job. Excellent. I really had fun and learned a good many things. Thank you for that. Okay, now let's see what Big G came up with.
Okay, so Greg is here now, and he's going to try the Glenmorangie Sauterne finish and see what he thinks and what would be a good cigar to pair with this one.
All right. Can't wait. Get a little spice out of it. A little spice. Good smoke. I get caramel in there.
Yeah, a little bit of smoke, isn't it? And it's
So just a hint.
yeah, it's a little delicate, so you got to give it a little time. But yeah,
I can't put my finger on it 100%, but I think I kind of get a little honey out of it. It's sweet, almost like it's like a wine, like a dessert. Very nice. Very nice. Let me give it a try. Wow. I do get the honey. I do get light fruit. I would say it's mid to long in finish. Kind of lingers.
kind of a delicate.
Yeah, it is. It is delicate. It is.
Yeah.
You get a little spice, but it's not like, you know, ooh. You know, it's pleasurable. You know, it's good. It's sweet. It's sweet. very good.
but not overly.
No.
Like I was expecting it to be a little sweeter actually than it is.
Like I said, I can't say if I have dark fruit, but I definitely get fruit out of it. I think I get lighter fruit out of it. So it's
Yeah.
good. It's very good.
Yeah.
I could definitely drink a cigar, or smoke a cigar drinking this for sure. So it's very good. That drink was very light. I thought it was very good. It kind of, I don't want to compare it to like a cognac, but I mean, I could drink that as an after dinner drink. You know, Scotch is always good at the end.
I think a cognac is a pretty good observation. I think there's a lot in common with a cognac there.
So, you know, when we talk about lighter drinks, depending on proof, I didn't check the proof on that on purpose, but I was just trying to figure out, you know, where I would be on that. So I would say that I would be anywhere from a light to medium body to a full medium body cigar. So we have so many different selections in here as far as medium body cigars. I'm just trying to. I saw one that I jumped out at me, and I'm just going to look around here before I really pick something.
Okay. Take your time. We'll edit as needed.
That's fine. I just want to something that would. You know, I see some of the Alec Bradleys would pair well with that. But the cigar that really jumps out, you know, this is a good cigar. Perla del Mar, good cigar. You know, I saw the Nub series, the Connecticut wrapper would be a good cigar to go with that.
Yeah.
But the cigar that really jumps out at me is the Champagne 10th Anniversary. So this comes in a couple of different styles. This is a Connecticut wrapper. This is a good cigar. I want to say it's a Nicaraguan or you know, Habano, so to say. But this is a good cigar that would do well with that Irish type of Scotch that we just drank sampled. So I'm going to go with the Perdomo 10th Anniversary for that.
Oh, nice. Okay. So now Greg's trying the Rossville Union, and we'll see what he wants to pair with that.
I always like to see the legs look like it kind of seems like a heavy, seems like to be a little bit heavier than the Scotch that I
Oh,
just
for
drank.
sure. Absolutely.
I do get some spice out of it.
I'd say, to me, that's pretty much a classic rye. Don't you
Yeah,
think?
I do.
Everything about it.
Yeah, it's definitely good. Definitely, you know, the oak and the caramel and the vanilla. I mean, I get all that out of there. Get some dark fruit, maybe raisin or cherry or plum or something like that. Some of that dark fruit combination.
Baking spices.
Definitely some baking spices.
Yeah.
Absolutely baking spices. It's nice. It's very nice. And I like Rossville products. Rossville products are good products. I'm going to give it a taste now.
Yeah.
That's nice. You get a little earth out of it right out of the gate.
Yeah.
You know, but boy, it's good. Nice and sweet. It's like a candy bomb. You get a little brown sugar. It's nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Do you get any kind of leather or anything like that?
I was going to say I was trying to pick out but I think I get a little bit more. I would say it would be more of a mocha than a leather for me.
Okay.
Okay, and maybe it is the leather, but I kind of get that mocha flavor. If that makes any sense. I'm gonna hit it again.
Yeah.
So my second drink, I'm going to say scrap the mocha and definitely I kind of let it hang for a second before I swallowed it, and I would say it's probably more leather than it would be open.
Yeah, I definitely got a little bit of leather on that one, and
It's not
definitely the profile is very rye, dry,
Yep.
spicy.
It is dry.
Yeah.
It is dry, but it's a long finish
Yeah.
for sure.
So do you have any idea what cigar you would pair this with?
You know what I think? I tend to be anything over 96 proof or more. I would have to lean more towards a full body cigar. Full body cigar. Anything, like I said, anything over 90 proof or more. I think you need a heavier cigar to pair with something like this.
Okay, so let's go in the humidor and see what you want to grab for this one.
Maduro cigars are what I normally smoke on a regular basis. So during the whiskey show, I do like to smoke more of a medium body cigar, but towards the end of the night, I'm back into a full Maduro. But I'm a firm believer that anything over 96 proof definitely pairs well with a Maduro cigar. Now, there's a bunch of different powers of Maduro cigars as far as tobaccos. Am I ready for like a La Flor Dominicana or Double Agero? No, not for that. That's not a high enough proof for me to be there. So I'm just going to...
So when you think of like the dry, spicy profile of that whiskey, does that affect what your selection might be?
I just think being 100 proof, I mean, you know as well as I do that, I'm a 100 proof guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I like, I'm a moonshine guy. But I'm a firm believer that you can pair something to meet the spice, so to say, the heat, if you will, and it kind of pairs well, kind of settles you down a little bit. So Maduro cigar. So give me a few minutes here.
Okay.
I just want to look around.
All right.
And I see a whole bunch right here, but I don't know if, for a full body. And then we have the
house cigars.
The house cigars. Those are the Salomones, full body. But those tend to be a lighter full body than a regular punch in the face. But at the end of the day, where was I here? Sorry, where I was at here. I saw something over here that I thought would be perfect for that Rossville Rye. Just let me look one more time here. There it is right here. Found it. Padron Box Press Cigar, 80th. Very nice cigar right here. This cigar is not cheap. It's an expensive cigar, and plus you see how it's. So just let me say something here. You see how it's got the torpedo and the Toro on the bottom here. How it's wrapped. So usually, people that wrap these type of cigars seem to be the most qualified and have the most know-how on how to make this certain cigar. Not anybody can make this cigar. So this is a great roller. This is a great box press cigar, and it's real nice. So this is a great cigar. This is perfect with the Ross.
Rolling. Okay, so we're going to try Greg's going to try the Uncle Nearest 1884 small batch whiskey. This is a great bourbon, and it's 93 proof.
This is, I've never had this before. I don't know if you know that or not, but I've never had this before.
That's saying something right there.
I've seen the products, and they normally run about $50 a bottle, but I never tried it, so I didn't want to invest the money. You know how I am.
Yeah.
I don't mind spending money, but I just want to make sure, because we always say, as we say on the show, that price doesn't dictate the quality. All right, I'm going to go in with the next.
Okay.
That smells good.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if you don't really enjoy this.
I definitely get the caramel, the vanilla. I definitely get the oak.
a little bit.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying a little bit like the rye we just had. It's a very quintessential bourbon, I think.
And I can, you had mentioned leather, and I kind of get that on the backside of the smell, so to say. I don't get the pungent, but I do. I would say that there is some leather in here. Nice, very nice. I'm going to give it a taste.
Okay.
All right. Wow. I get cocoa on the finish. I get honey.
Yep. I'd say that's consistent with what Dan and I had to say. Yeah.
I would say it's definitely got a fruit note to it. I would say it's a dark fruit.
There's a dark fruit in there. I don't know. I could put if it was cherry or just some dark currants or something like that.
Maybe a plum, maybe a dark cherry. Maybe, could be a raisin. Really.
I think Dan may have said raisin.
So I'm like stuck on the leather. I just wanna.
Well, and I don't want to steer you because,
No.
But I don't know if you get any of the tobacco, that kind of like fresh tobacco scent. Something I caught. I don't know.
I'll try it again. Man, I get something else on it. I just can't put my finger on it.
So, as far as pairing this, Greg, with a nice cigar, do you have any ideas? Or
I do. I do have some. I'm stuck between a medium to full body cigar or again a light Maduro cigar on this. I think either one of those would pair well, but I'd like to maybe jump into the.
Let's go in humidor and see what catches your eye.
Let's do it.
The Fantasy line.
The Fantasy line. This is Royal Havana cigars. This is these cigars are made specifically for Royal Havana. This is a great line.
And what characterizes these cigars? Like what?
So there's 3 different tobaccos.
Oh, yeah. This is that custom blend.
Your Maduro.
Yeah.
You have your sun grown, if you will. You have your Candela. The difference with our Candela and like Davidoff or these other, they freeze their tobacco to get this color. Our cigars are not. Our tobacco is not frozen. We pull them fresh. We wrap them.
So that color is natural.
It's a natural. This is a great cigar. I love this cigar. And it shows just how it is. Light, medium to full body. 3 different colors. It's actually 3 parts of most cigars. So you have your palate build, if you will, and then you get into your binder, so to say, and some of your filler, and then the last third of the cigar is always your full body of the cigar. So this is going to be a little bit of a tough choice for me. If I look at these, that would pair well with that. But I just want to look here. Punch. Here's another cigar that would pair well with that as well. But just let me look here. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. So the Liga Privada was something Greg said might be a good pairing. The Punch, of course.
Tough one on that, Doug. I'm just kind of
Nice kind of.
Again, these are your over 100 proof cigars, 100 proof whiskeys, scotches. These are.
So this one's at 93, kind of right on that.
Yeah, it teeters. It teeters.
So that's your pick, huh?
So this is the Oliva V. This is teeters the line of a medium to a full body, if you will, entry level full body. This is a great cigar. This cigar is about $12 by Oliva. Oliva has a lot of great products. It's the structure of the cigar is fantastic. Anybody that's smoked these smokes them on a regular basis, and I don't think some of the people that realize, a lot of people are not into pairing, they just want to smoke a nice cigar. This is a great cigar. This does well with just about anything to drink, believe it or not. Okay, so this is going to be my pick.
Okay.
All right.
Really nice, Big G. Your passion for fine cigars is as evident as is your love for fine whiskeys. Well, okay, thanks to both Dan and Greg for a job well done, and special thanks to our sponsor, Royal Havana Cigars. That concludes part 1. Next time, we'll see how Dan and Big G like their picks, and finally after that, we'll wrap up by seeing what our judge, producer Zach, thought of the cigar and whiskey pairings. So until the next show, this is Douglas Dunbar, the Whiskey Wizard, for the Whiskey Roundtable. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Cheers, Sanjava. And now, back to the live show.
All right.
Woohoo!
Yeah, so
Nice job, Dan.
Yeah, excellent job.
Nice job.
G and Dan, yeah, so that fantastic, and that's why Dan's of course a guest tonight.
Amen.
Good job by both you guys, and
Thank you.
that continues on for the next week, and then in our final week of June we have our producer Zach, who compares both of their selections with each of the whiskeys and gives us his verdict. So
Awesome.
we'll look forward to that. So
Did we record that one yet, or do we have a chance to talk to Zach beforehand?
no,
Probably not.
we won't divulge that till.
See, Doug's
final
good.
day.
Doug's good about giving us a little bit of the rope,
Yeah.
but he doesn't always give you the full story until it's over. And he says, "Well, I'm going to do. I just want to tell you." And it's like, dude, you're killing us over here. But I get.
So I will
get
say,
it.
to Shauna's suggestion, we did try the whiskey, the Pikesville with the water.
Good suggestion.
It was good.
Well, I liked it. It was different. I definitely got the licorice with the water, which wasn't something I could taste on the profile with the straight whiskey. So Karen you didn't like it at all, right?
It made it way too hot for me.
It even made it hotter for you. Well, that sometimes happens because but usually you get more of the aromatics when you put some water into it. We talked about that in one of our other episodes.
I did.
Yeah.
It really toned down that ethanol flavor, or the ethanol
Sure.
on the nose and everything.
Yeah, sure.
I enjoyed it better.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but I got more heat out of it on the aftertaste. It took a minute, and then the heat came out. So, but you know what? It wasn't a bad heat. Compared to like a Knob Creek or something like that.
Yeah, true.
Knob Creek is like drinking a bottle of Tabasco sauce. So, and I don't enjoy that kind of stuff. But anyway, go ahead. I'm
Not
sorry.
that
Rich.
some of you might enjoy that.
And we enjoyed your
Hey, it was a
infinity
lot
bottle.
of fun, and
Your
I'm,
infinity bottle.
I mean,
Your infinity bottle we had before
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah.
I'm still
it's
going to
hardly
beat you
an
next
infinity
time.
bottle anymore.
I'm still going to
I'm gonna be
beat you.
starting over again.
Still going to
But
beat
that's
you.
okay. That's what we do. That's what we do.
That's what we do.
Okay, well,
And I would, before you do that, I would just like to say great footage of Royal Havana cigars.
Amen.
yeah, special thanks again to Dave
Samrock.
Dave
Yeah.
Samrock and Royal Havana for hosting this whole tasting event, and that pairing episode kind of kicks off, and then next week we'll see each of these guys, because at that event they didn't really actually get to taste the cigar with the whiskey, as you noticed. But next week they're at home and they get to actually say, okay, now I thought this cigar would go well with this whiskey. Let's see how I actually did. And so they sample it and they get to give us their feedback on how well they think they did. And I think it came out outstanding, and you guys did a great job of being frank in your comments and telling us how you thought you did. And then, as I said, the last week of June, then our producer Zach will give his opinions about how well they did. So
Awesome.
Good time. Good
All
time.
right.
we've always wanted to do that since you mentioned it. You said if you're ever going to do something about cigars and whiskey and pairing them, I'd love to be a part of that. So this was really all kind of your idea.
It's like Abbott and Costello. I mean, they just go together.
Yeah, but you guys, it was so much fun that night to do that.
Sure.
We had a great time. As you can see, there are a lot of other people there, and we all had fun with it. So.
All right.
All right, so I guess it's time to wrap up. Anything else before we
Anything
do
else
that?
on the scroll?
Let me see.
Oh, Matt
Matt.
said we have to get another night together there.
the Royal
Matt Sosa.
Havana. He really enjoyed their cigars.
And yes, I
Matt.
agree. Very soon, and maybe even next week. Well, see, next week's kind of busy, but very soon, next couple of weeks, let's do another Wednesday over there at Royal Havana. So
That would be nice.
And Nick said Arturo Fuente Maduro wrapper works for all, and then you went and picked it. So he was talking about
I don't
how
want to
great that
divulge
was.
too much, but it was interesting. I mentioned some things on the primer episode last week before I even knew what we were doing, and you guys actually picked some of the ones that I talked about. So it was very cool.
We almost know sometimes what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Not
guys
always.
do. Yeah,
Mostly
that's great.
not, but anyway.
Jennifer Bugg says nice job on that. So
All right.
very
deal.
good, guys.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, look, we want to thank everybody for watching. If you're here with us live tonight, or if you are watching this later on, remember, if you missed the live show, it happens. Please watch whenever it's convenient. It's your views that
Like us,
help
subscribe.
Yes, it's your views that help keep this whole thing going. We'll be back again next week at our usual day and time, 7:30 p.m., Friday, June 18th. It's kind of the birthday show. But,
Amen. Amen.
And I would like to just going rogue
Excuse me.
here. I would just like to give a shout out to one of our new followers who reached out to us this week, Ryan Hinton.
Ryan.
What's up, dog?
Okay, Ryan. More applause for Ryan. Always like our new viewers. Very.
He reached out to us via our Facebook page, and we had some back and forth there, and he says you've got a new follower. So
All
thank
right,
you
great.
so
Thank
much.
you so
All right.
much. Thank you.
Well, I mean,
Thank you.
people, we hope that there might get a few new
Sure.
followers every once in a
Absolutely.
while. They appreciate.
We just
what
do our thing.
We do our.
You know,
thing,
we're not.
and, yeah.
We're just. We do it just because it's fun. I mean, we're
Yes.
not. We
We love what we do.
absolutely. We just have fun. We don't. You have your YouTube subscribers out there, or your YouTubers, if you will, and for YouTube, and but we just whatever the outcome is, it is. We just
And
enjoy doing
of
it.
course,
If we weren't here, we'd be on the front porch doing it. So
Well,
we might as well just
And
open
we all
it
be
up for you
sleeping
guys.
late. We all
And
be
we
sleeping
probably-
late afternoon on
we'd be
Saturday.
talking about whiskey. We'd be talking about our tasting notes. Yeah, so that's what we do. But hey, and special thanks to all of you that do watch as often as you can, and we really appreciate it. And that's it keeps us going. And and if you can't watch live, then just check us out whenever it's convenient. We appreciate it. So
Thank you.
as you mentioned, subscribe to our YouTube page. Follow us on Facebook. If you have questions or comments,
Reach
if you
out.
want to be a guest on the show, you can comment on Facebook, or you can email us directly at thewhiskeyroundtable@gmail.com. And our closing quote today, this comes from one of our favorites. Lots of good closing quotes from Dean Martin. This one
Amen.
says,
My man.
"There is nothing wrong with sobriety in moderation." So,
Amen. Amen. All right.
And Dean just had a birthday, so
There
Oh,
we
he
go.
did?
Yeah.
Really?
yeah,
Yeah,
happy
he
birthday,
did.
Dean. Happy heavenly birthday, Dean.
nice.
All right, close
What
us out, kids.
what would it have been?
Oh gosh, 108,
Yeah.
9,
that
something
much?
like that. Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. Okay, I didn't realize Dino was that old.
All right. close us out. All right.
Glad you're the.
Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. We are the Whiskey Roundtable and the Whiskey Wizard. Appreciate you watching. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
night.
everyone. Be safe.
Bye-bye.
If whiskey stopped working, every bar in town would be closing their doors, shutting down. Everybody would be trapped with their thoughts, 'cause nothing numbs the pain like bourbon or scotch. Oh no, oh no, no. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably wasting lots of money trying therapy. If whiskey stopped working, what the hell would I do? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be over you. If whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, oh, whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped. Poor Jack D would be out of a job. Jameson and Bean would be cut off. Hank Williams songs wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, this whole damn world would be a mess. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably wasting lots of money trying therapy. If whiskey stopped working, what the hell would I do? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be over you. If whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, oh, whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped, oh. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably halfway out of this town, leaving Tennessee. If whiskey stopped working, what the hell